Hello, I want to talk to you a bit about child and adolescent development. Psychologists have studied what it is that makes kids tick, including the cognitive part of it, or the way kids understand, or the way they think, the emotional side, the way they feel about themselves and others, the physical side, the way they're developing physically, the way their bodies are changing, and the social growth, the way they interact with society, or the way they interact with their peers, or even with their families. And by understanding the first theory that I'm going to talk about, called the psychosocial theory uh, by Erickson, teachers can use his 8 stages of psychosocial development to gauge and understand the personalities or the students that they work with in the classroom. We need to remember that stages in psychology build on each other. Therefore, a delay in one stage may lead to further delays in other stages, or in dealing with life, or self-perspective, or not understanding yourself or others in society. I'm sorry. In 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 stage one of Erickson's psychosocial theory, we see that it occurs at the first year of in the first year of life, and the basic virtue that we hope that all kids acquire is hope, and they do that by developing a sense of trust in their caregiver. And when the caregiver is consistent in the affection that they offer, and consistent in the comfort, and consistently take care of the basic needs of the child, then the child can develop trust in that relationship, which makes him feel secure. And he continues to have the hope that it will always be the same. Whereas if the care is inconsistent, then the child will develop mistrust, anxiety, and end up with fear and suspicion. And leading into the second stage, it will really lead to a delay in his social and emotional development. The second stage of development identified by Erickson is that one called autonomy versus shame, which occurs in the second year of life. And the basic virtue which we're looking to acquire is personal will, the personal will for the child to do things for himself, the independence that he's finding, the fact that he could now choose his own toy, and that he could have control of many things that he chooses to do in his own life. And really, as parents, we want to encourage this so that he could continue to develop the confidence to want to do more and build on what he's already learned. Whereas if we fail to encourage the child, or we criticize because of mistakes or accidents that they might have, then the child will gain those feelings of guilt, those feelings of inadequacy, uh, which may delay him, or maybe delay the child wanting to do more for themselves. And now you have a delay coming into the third stage, the initiative versus guilt, which occurs between 3 and 5 years old. And it's the stage of life where the child is developing their purpose. This is where they begin to take control of their environment, where they begin to lead the groups that they're in at school, where they begin to make rules for the play that they do. This is where they develop the interpersonal skills, and begin to be social, and know how to see things the way others see it. However, too many failures can lead to guilt and a sense of being a bad person. And too much guilt can always lead to that feeling of inferiority, or that you're below the rest. And coming into the next stage of development, industry versus inferiority, the child really needs a lot of confidence in order to develop that basic virtue of competence. This is where the child is demonstrating to his peers and to everybody around him that he has knowledge of the world, and that he has the knowledge that is valued by society. He knows that there's certain behaviors at the dinner table during lunchtime. He knows that there's certain rules We need to keep ourselves well groomed. However, a negative outcome is if the child is not encouraged to expand their social environment and to take the chances and to not be afraid of being wrong, and they begin to feel shielded, then we look at a lack of self-esteem. They begin to feel like they're inferior to others, and it's very difficult to move on to being a teenager where really identity versus role confusion, it's overwhelming sometimes, but kids who have a good grasp of it, well, they gain the basic virtue of fidelity, that commitment to themselves, that commitment to who they're going to become, the fact that they begin to explore who they want to be in career and family, and they begin to demonstrate that they understand the roles that are used by adults. Failure to establish an identity can lead to role confusion. The insecurity of their place in society can lead to rebellion and unhappiness, which leads to a lack of success, really. And this brings us to that intimacy versus isolation. This is where we begin to develop our relationships with others, our intimate relationships, where we gain that basic virtue of love. We know love, and I love you, and I know that you love me. And we really begin to explore the idea of the long-term relationships, which really require a sense of commitment. That long-term relationship in career, that long-term relationship with a significant other, that long-term relationship that you will have once you have children. It's an important thing to love, and failure to develop this love, to create intimate relationships, that will lead to a lonely life and a sense of isolation, like there really is nobody for you. Which leads us to the seventh stage of development, which is generativity versus stagnation. This is where we develop that virtue of care. This is where we care for our families, we care for our other, we care for our community, we care for our careers. This is where we feel like we're excelling. This is where we're being the most productive, and this is really where we participate in community activities, or we participate in organizations where we could give back to our community. A negative outcome or failure to find ways to contribute or to give back to our community could lead to stagnation, where you just feel like, oh, I just couldn't get it done, and you feel unproductive. And feeling unproductive really leads to despair in the final stage. Integrity versus despair. It's for 65 and over, 65 up until the day you die. And the basic virtue demonstrated here that we acquire is wisdom, because we have all this experience. We have lived life. We have given back. We have developed our identity. People reflect on these lives, and in order to develop a sense of integrity, that what I did was worth it. And when they see it as a success, well, then I guess you could go in peace. However, there are those who do see their lives as unsuccessful, and they have their regrets for not achieving more. And these people will, again, finish their lives pretty bitter. And bitterness always leads to despair. And it's a shame that we would really not find a reason to be happy, or a reason that we have accomplished more, and this is the reason why we must consider Erikson's theory, because we could help kids overcome the crises which they face in life, because we do have some control too, because we too have our identity that could help children overcome, so that when we do reach the later stages in life, well, we're happy. And this leads me to the second theory, which I want to discuss with you, which is called the social and emotional learning theory. This is the idea that we learn to develop and use our social and emotional skills. We're not born with it. It's something that we gain from our environment and from others. These are the skills that we use when we interact with others, whether in play, whether in debate, whether we're angry, whether we're arguing, or whether we're in cooperative groups. It's also the skills that we use when we respond to crisis. And in this theory, well, it's based off five key areas of social and emotional development. The first one being self-awareness, that fact that I know myself. I know what I could do well, and I know what I could do better, and I know how to get better at what I do. I have that growth mindset, that the fact that I understand that I could always improve, and I work with confidence. The second one is self-management. Can I take care of myself? Can I have self-control? Can I demonstrate the behaviors that are required of me given the different situations of life? The third area is social awareness. Do I care? Do I care for others? Do I have an open mind, and can I see things the way somebody else sees it?